Hello, everyone, and welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by my co-host Gage Bertovich today, and this is the Week 17 Pick'ems Christmas edition. Merry Christmas, everyone. Gage, how are we doing over there? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. We're feeling the Christmas spirit, coming off a big win. I'm ready to fight someone, maybe take a swing at someone. Hopefully, I don't get suspended off the podcast for 2 weeks for that. But you know what? It's a great time. Holidays are coming around. The Steelers coming off a big win. Bengals coming off a big win, too. Gordon's not here, so I can't make fun of him for losing to the Bears. But we're all doing good, at least that are on the show here. Maybe there's a reason Gordon's not here. He might have had a crash out. Not really too sure. How are you doing?
Maybe Gordon punched a fan or something, and he's suspended for a week. I don't know. We'll see. But no, I'm doing pretty good. The Bengals, they're out of it, but they played like they look like, a contender last night. A little too late, of course, but looked really good. Give you a little bit of hope, I guess, for the future. And, hey, it looks so good that we'll probably keep Zach Taylor around for another year.
And you know what? Chase Brown, game of his career, 3 touchdowns. Where's that been all season?
He's had some flashes, but, yeah, yesterday for sure was his best game. And also probably didn't hurt that, Quinn Ewers was the quarterback over there for Miami on a team that really just seemed like they've given up. Big win, though, from Pittsburgh against the Lions. And what was the most entertaining game of the weekend? Maybe that or the other 2 NFC North teams had a really entertaining game Saturday night.
Going back to the Steelers game, probably the most Lions way to lose with that entire sequence. I mean, the game from start to finish, I guess really from the end of the first half to the finish. Yes. You got the best running back in the league, Kenneth Gainwell, catching a 45-yard pass somehow. I don't know how he caught it, but definitely up for catch of the year, touchdown of the year, whatever you want to call it. Make it 10-10 going into halftime, great. And then you come out, and the offense just looked good for the most part. Jaylen Warren, 2 45-yard touchdown runs. The Kenneth Gainwell score, 45-yard touchdown runs. That's the magical number of the week, 45 apparently. Defense looked good. You held a Lions offense to 24 points. You shut down the run game between Gibbs and Montgomery. I think there's like 25 total rushing yards. So that was great. 15. So even better. Looking even better. A couple sacks.
That's sack totals in that. But yeah, 15 total.
Couple sacks. You got a safety from Kyle Duggar, which turned out, I guess you could call it the turning point, because that made it a 5-point game instead of what would have been only 3. Lions kick the field goal, take it to overtime, and who knows what happens. Even Boswell missing an easy 37-yarder, which you'd never see him miss. So that was very heart attack-like watching it. Doink, yeah. The most curved doink you will ever see, too, because it was like, oh, that's good, that's not good. Oh no, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, what a game! Like you said, the Gainwell catch, like the wherewithal from him to get the ball, get up and run it on into the end zone. Never was touchdown, made that catch, and I mean that's one of the turning points of the game right there.
And then if you want to talk about literally the last play of the game,
oh, man,
I mean, good job first by Patrick Queen and Joey Porter stopping. I think it was Amon-Ra from getting into the end zone, stopping on like the half-yard line. But at what point does forward progress be stopped? Like he was pushed back to like the 8-yard line.
So before we go to the last play, let's break down the last drive in general for the Detroit Lions. You're down 5 points, and then you come down to the field. There was a tripping call at one point in time. Which, I mean, Highsmith did reach out, trip, and he knew it immediately when he done it.
Oh, yeah. But, the worst part is he didn't have to do it.
No,
if he didn't reaches his arms out, he had
to. Right. So, Detroit's helped a little bit there. There was was it a pass interference call on Pittsburgh? That was...
on 4th and 2.
That was very questionable at best.
It was questionable, but I could say Duggar did get there early, so I did. Where they called it. But the flag came in very late after J-Mo got up and was like, where's the flag? And then they're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Here you go.
Yeah, J-Mo definitely called that penalty right there. So there's a questionable one. Then you come down to, I believe Detroit was at the 1 yard line or 2 yard line at this point when they get down there after the tripping. I think it's and they throw a pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown, touchdown lines. But wait, there's a penalty. They call a pick play on Isaac Tesla. Now, okay, technically that is a pick play, okay, but I mean,
I don't know, and I probably will never understand the ruling on that because, like, you got to make it look like you didn't try to run into the defender, but in order for it to be successful, you got to run into the defender, and sometimes it's called, sometimes it's not. I have no idea.
And then the very next play is the play that you were talking about, Gage, before I'd cut you off a little bit there, because I wanted to go over the whole drive here, because the drive, we could do a whole podcast on that Detroit Lions last drive in and of itself. But
not only that, but just to make it a little bit harder, you have, and it was actually the 1 yard line, not the 2. So touchdown nullified, 10 yards, OPI. And then a false start penalty. So just back them up a little bit further.
Yeah.
And then you have the Goff check down to Jahmyr Gibbs for 7 yards. So this play comes from the 9 yard line. Yep. It's like, okay. And then Goff goes incompletion. Jameson Williams, Y.A. Black gets his hands up. Should have had the pick and instead just bats down. No problem. And then pass incomplete to Isaac Tesla. Now, he jumped up for that ball. Had it, and then Chuck Clark. I don't have many good things to say about Chuck Clark. All right. He should have had a career day yesterday and had like 3 interceptions. But he made a great play on Tesla and knocked the ball out of his hands. So it's like, all right, here we go. 4th and goal.
Yep.
And he goes, Amon-Ra, short, gets knocked back.
To the 5.
To the 5, 6, however many yards.
Pitches.
And then laterals it to Goff. At what point does forward progress get stopped? Because they were going to roll it a touchdown.
They did roll it a touchdown when he comes out and he said, there's a touchdown by Detroit. However, there is also a flag for offensive pass interference.
Talk about that ref. He was like, I'm going to have so much fun and do a little bit of trolling here in the Motor City.
That, he really, so after that play, Amon-Ra goes, he catches the ball, forward progress gets stopped around the 2, and he's going back to about the 5, 6, pitches it back to Goff as he's going down to the ground. Goff takes the ball, runs it in for the touchdown, so you think. Then they show the replay. And you look at the replay, and Amon-Ra comes up, and clearly offensive pass interference. Now, Jalen Ramsey sold that, as he should. There's nothing wrong with him selling that. He got interfered with. Might as well let him, know. Overreact. You got to do what you got to do. And then afterwards is when nobody in the stadium knew what was going on. Nobody. The referees, the teams, the fans, the commentators. They huddled up for several minutes before they're like, okay, what do we do here? They scored a touchdown. Okay, well, they got an offensive penalty, so they can't replay the down because it's an offensive penalty. Let's get out of here. Now you go make the call. Touchdown by the Lions, however.
It was like, the rolling on the field is touchdown, then you hear the, yeah!
Yeah.
What there is pass interference, offense, number 14. It's like, and even then, I don't think anyone in the stadium knew because it was so loud in there that they probably couldn't hear it. So then he was like, by rule, whatever he said, the game is over. We do not redo the down. Which why would you redo it? OPI Pittsburgh would just decline
the penalty. Accept it. Yeah.
But
runoff.
Yeah. But even by that, like, if Amon-Ra doesn't lateral the ball, there's still like 2 seconds at the end of the clock. Him lateraling the ball took off the rest of the time.
Right.
So I'm like, that would have been interesting to know, like, if there wasn't OPI, what would have been called? Because you cannot tell me his forward progress was not stopped. He got pushed back half a football field.
It was definitely stopped. And Goff and Aaron Rodgers, even after the game was over, they were on the field kind of like looking around like, what just happened? Like, they were kind of unsure of what was just being called on the field. And then, they figured it out. Rodgers does the interview, says we're rooting for Pittsburgh, for New England tonight. And
huge comeback win for the Patriots. Yeah. Baltimore was up by what, 12, 11, 12, something like that?
Snoop Huntley in.
And then Derrick Henry scores a second touchdown and doesn't get another touch. Hey, football dude, what's up with that?
What is up with that football dude?
Because as much as I'm glad the Patriots won, that was horrible.
He was running all over the Patriots, and they do not give him the ball. Like, what are you doing, John Harbaugh? What is this?
And then Zay Flowers does his signature break dance fumble that he has done many times in his career. I'm going to dance around and then get the ball knocked out from behind.
What about the play where Snoop throws it over the middle to Mark Andrews, and he tries to pass it forward? Even Mike Tirico's like, what is he doing? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm asking the same thing.
And it's so crazy that this comes after, not long, 2-3 weeks since they gave Andrews the 3-year contract extension. It's like, I think you guys extended the wrong tight end. Andrews has not been the same guy that you expect him to be, but that entire Ravens offense, defense, not the same team you expect it to be either. Defense played a little bit better, except when it came to the back half of the fourth quarter, held New England in check. So I was like, okay, this is not going to be good. And then I'm out, I'm doing stuff with friends, and I drive past this one bar. Now, never been to the area, have no idea where I'm at. But I look inside the bar, and I just see New England kicking some sort of kick. Don't know if it was a field goal. Don't know if it was an extra point. I was like, New England scored. Oh, well, that's fine. Whatever. And then I get back here, and I'm like, 26-24. Actually, no, sorry. I was in the Wendy's drive-thru, and I looked at my phone like, well, what do you mean New England secures a playoff spot? Like, there's no way they won. And I'm like 26-24, and then about an hour and a half after the game ended, I got the Bleacher Report update that Travion Henderson was not returning. So send that notification a little bit sooner, please, because I already knew that. You didn't have to rub the salt in the wound of the guy that's on my fantasy team. Like at 12:10 or whatever, I'm getting this notification. I'm like, thanks. Did not need the reminder, but thanks a lot.
Yeah, so that was a heck of a game, heck of a comeback there for Drake. He won the MVP there in that game. I don't know. We'll see. He's in the driver's seat right now. But the Ravens, Lamar Jackson goes out. Snoop Huntley comes in. Man, this is the year of the backup quarterbacks for sure. We'll talk about some in a little bit. But another game that could have been the game of the week, the Jacksonville Jaguars go into Mile High Stadium and beat the Broncos.
Wow.
Like, take care of business. We all went Jaguars on this podcast last week, so we seen it coming, and they did it. They went out and they done it. Stops the streak for the Broncos, and Jacksonville's in a spot where they could be the number 1 overall seed in the AFC.
And if you would have asked anybody, even us, when we were doing the preseason preview by division, we didn't think that this was going to happen. We mocked Liam Cohen, and it was something that was just like, oh, Jacksonville, they're going to be a 5-win team again. Trevor Lawrence is going to be his normal self. But it looks like it took a couple years. But the former first overall pick coming into his own.
Yeah, he really is. At the beginning of the year, like when the Bengals was playing the Jaguars, you were like, okay, him and Liam Cohen do not like each other. Well, I don't know if they like each other now or not, but they're getting along pretty good as long as they win them games. And they're out there, they're doing it.
Yeah, I guess you don't have to like each other. If you're winning games, you're out here putting on wow performances. You can dislike me all you want, but we're probably going to be the number 1 seed, or at least we have a very good shot at it.
Yeah, they're actually real contenders now in the AFC. And you talk about you don't have to like each other. I don't even know if Brady and Belichick liked each other, and you see how that turned out for them.
I don't think Belichick liked anybody.
Except for his girlfriend. So the other game that we talked about that our co-host, who is conspicuous by his absence, the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Chicago gets a huge win. Caleb Williams passed to DJ Moore for the touchdown. After being down, was it 11, 10?
I think it was.
Yeah, and an onside kick.
Okay. Onside kick, you have your hands team out there, being the Packers. If your hands team consists of your, at the time, number 1 wide receiver, and he can't take in an onside kick.
Talking about Dubs.
Fat helmet boy. Like, that was just awful. But I never understood why teams don't attack the ball early. Like, the kicking team can't get it unless you touch it first or it goes 10 yards. So why are you letting it go past the first line? Just grab it. I don't understand. But it was actually fun to see an onside kick be successful. I think I've talked weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago about how I think onside kicks should be gone, and they should adapt the UFL, USFL, whatever you want to call it, 4th and 15 method. I think that would be more exciting. Offensive coordinators would have to start drawing up plays for a 4th and 15 play, and we could have a little bit more fun instead of a play that's probably not going to work. Yeah, I think, what are onside kicks this season?
Yeah, Bengals was one of them, but yeah, 5 for something or another. I mean, it's not a very good success rate whatsoever.
No,
But when you see it happen, it's exciting, but it just doesn't happen very often.
No, and it's some of that's just like, okay, we went over this rant in the offseason, but having to declare you're doing an onside kick,
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. You take all the fun out of it. I mean, look how good the Indianapolis Colts were a few years ago. Pat McAfee in doing onside kicks, and they were just having fun doing it. The guy recovered his own onside kick.
Yes, coming out of halftime and onside kicking, you don't have to announce it. I mean, you do now. Then you didn't. It's whatever. The surprise element.
Yeah. Now you can't do it whenever.
To announce it.
You have to announce it. You have to be losing in the 4th quarter. Like, what if I want to do an onside kick to open the game? Dang it, let me do an onside kick to open the game.
Sean Payton called one for the Saints back in the day in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They caught the Colts off guard, kind of had them on their heels. Saints win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now you can't do it. You can be like, we're going for the onside kick right here in the 2nd quarter. Oh, wait, you can't do it in the 2nd quarter. It's got to be 4th quarter now. Ridiculous.
Oh, hey, head coach over there, just send out your hands team because we're going to onside it.
Yeah. And if you want something that's not ridiculous, may I suggest going to w.gg and using promo code YELLING, YELLING, and save you 10% at checkout. That's W. Which, Gage, you got some blue raz over there, right?
No, I'm actually doing a different flavor this week. It's one of the sample packs that they gave when I first ordered it. It is the Beach and Peach Mango White Peach Cooler. I wasn't sure what I would think about it because I'm not a real peach fan, but it smells good, tastes pretty good, and it's, my second one of the day. They don't recommend more than one a day, but I'm tired. So we're going with the second one. Nothing's going to happen. I know my body. I know I'm good.
Yeah, know your body on these, I guess, but I usually go about 1 to 2 W's a day, and I'm still fine, somewhat.
We also got a W sticker on our shaker. They sent me like 8 different stickers. I was like, which one do I want to use? We'll go with that one because it matches the color of the shaker.
And like I said, that's w.gg, promo code YELLING, BW, be better. So Gage, we're still in week 16 right now as of recording. We're recording a few days early this week, and next week we'll be doing the same because of the holidays coming up. Because on a normal day, it's Christmas night, and, we're not recording there Christmas night. But right now, was it the Niners? They were ahead 24-17 last I seen, but that was a little bit ago.
The Niners are now ahead 31-17.
31-17. 31-17. Papal Field looked pretty good to begin the game, and then the grandpa stuff comes in. Kind of about how it was last week.
But you know what? I'm going to go this entire season without getting an upset pick of the week, correct? Because, man, these guys are upsetting. Now, you talk about Grandpa Phil. He's not playing bad. He already has better numbers than what he had last week. He's 15 of 23, 189, 2 touchdowns, only taking 1 sack. But it's the rushing game of Jonathan Taylor, 10 for 28. That it's not doing you anything. Josh Downs is your leading receiver, 5 for 65. Pierce has 3 receptions, 53 yards, both touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Michael Pittman, who's supposed to be your number 1 guy, only 2 for 24. Meanwhile, the Niners are just doing whatever they want to do. Purdy, 227, 4 touchdowns already. McCaffrey, 13 for 69. He has 4 catches for 17 yards and a touchdown. 4 different players have a receiving touchdown. Kittle, Jennings, Robinson, and McCaffrey. They're just stomping all over the Colts in any playoff chances that they might have had coming into tonight.
Yeah, that's about over with for them, for the Colts. That was slim to begin with, but the way Houston and Jacksonville's taken over that division, the Colts, we were talking about them being one of the better teams. Daniel Jones goes down. They try to make it up with Phillip Rivers, and it's just not the same team that it was earlier in the season.
No, but it is still kind of fun to watch the grandpa out there slinging it. I know I have an older quarterback, but it's nice to have a quarterback older than your starting quarterback.
I also had a 40-some-year-old quarterback as well at parts of this season, so it's fun when they go out there and they can still sling it around a little bit. And Rivers, a guy who hasn't been in the game in 5 years before last week, not too bad. Now, before we get into our segment about who's injured on your fantasy team this week, our picks so far this week, me, you, and Gordon all went 9-5 so far. We'll see how this one goes. So
I feel like I'm going to drop to 9-6.
yeah. So I think I may improve to 10-5, but we'll see. Gage, before we get into it, though, also not talking about the picks, but we need to circle back to the Pittsburgh-Detroit game. There was a little, I don't know, little breakout there, I guess, that we need to mention. It's actually your background right now. DK Metcalf punches a fan in the face. Detroit Lions fan punches him in the face. Man, like right in the middle of the game, second quarter. And I'm like, man, that's not a good look for DK right there. And I was like, he's probably not playing the rest of the game. And then what happens the next drive? He comes out. He drops like 3 passes. It's like, okay, they're in his head right now. And what did you think of the incident with the Detroit Lions fan? Number one question is, where was security at this point in time?
Where was stadium security, team security, any type of security? Why? You're in the middle of a game. Why are you going over to players in the stand? I know, like Mike Tomlin, he's controlling the entire team. So he can't be like, DK, why are you all the way over there? Meanwhile, his team's out there playing. So I can't blame him for it. But what's your offensive players doing? What Arthur Smith, he's clueless. But what are the rest of your players doing?
You've got assistants over there that should be like player personnel people.
Yeah.
You know, all over there checking out, making sure everybody's over here. Where's DK? Oh, he's over there. He's back there somewhere.
Yeah. And I can't tell, even from here, I can't tell what the fan's holding, but he's holding something yellow. It doesn't look like it's a terrible towel. No. But he's holding something yellow. He has the blue wig on. And from reports that we've heard, we've seen in the past 24 hours, they've had altercations before in Seattle. Yeah. Is this guy really a Lions fan? Or is he just a I hate DK fan?
He could be. At the same time, you know, I'm not saying he didn't deserve to get punched in the mouth. He may have. But you can't do that as a professional football player. You make all kinds of money, and that is not a good look on you right there to be going out punching fans. You've got to be bigger than that at that point in time. You should be focused on the game. You shouldn't be worried about what a fan is saying 40, 50 feet behind you. Who cares? Worry about the game. Worry about catching a ball for your quarterback and helping your team out instead of back here throwing haymakers, uppercuts, and fans.
Now, if Metcalf is telling the truth, which it already got proven earlier this season, he was telling the truth about some sort of spitting allegation, right? If he's telling the truth about what this fan said, calling him the N-word and calling his mom something you shouldn't call, you're going to F around and find out, my friend. You deserve to get punched in the face. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you do, but like I said, at the same time, you shouldn't be anywhere near paying attention to what they're saying at that point in time.
No.
You're in a football game. Now, after the game's over, we'll go over and have the Malice at the Palace Part 2. Detroit's been there before.
But at the same time, it's like, if you're going to make these comments, okay, and if you're going to follow this receiver around who you have some sort of hatred for in your life, you're going to F around and find out. And DK's not a guy you want to get in an argument with because he'll clock you. And if he did say that stuff, I can't blame him.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate incident right there between DK and the fan right there. Just don't be stupid.
No. And now Metcalf suspended for the next 2 games, the rest of the regular season. Hopefully it doesn't matter. Hopefully either one of 2 things. Green Bay can come out and beat Baltimore this week, and Pittsburgh wins the division automatically. Just rest your starters if you want the next 2 games, or if you want to play your starters just to beat Cleveland, I completely understand. Or if Baltimore wins, Pittsburgh comes out, beats Cleveland, week 18, you don't have to worry.
Week 18 won't matter at all.
But the only thing I don't like is this means your number 1 receiver now is receiver, not pass catcher, because I would say Darnell Washington. But Calvin Austin's not a number 1 guy. Scotty Miller, he's not a number 1 guy, though he did have some good catches there yesterday. Adam Thielen is going to roll into that role. He had some great catches. He had his best game of the season. So maybe we get an MVS connection. Rodgers he heaved one down the sideline, and MVS just off the fingertips. I was like, I understand what Packers fans were saying when it's either touchdown or drop with this guy.
Yeah, we had a Packers fan who preached that quite a bit with MVS, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It may not hurt him, but it may. It all depends. But if you beat Cleveland Sunday, none of this matters.
No.
Football dude, hey, sorry about your week 18 you were talking about all year, half the year.
And even if that's the case, you have to wonder, like, you say Green Bay goes out and they beat Baltimore. You have 2 weeks now that they matter in a sense of potential seeding, but you already have the division locked up. You got Grandpa back there at quarterback. You haven't had a bye week in a while. Give the guys some rest. Yeah. Maybe you let Mason out there to start. Maybe you give Will Howard some snap time just to see what you got in them.
Why not?
And let Aaron be the emergency quarterback.
Yeah, because it'd be good to see what you've got in Howard, because your future's not Mason Rudolph. If Aaron decides to hang it up, you're not going to go with Mason Rudolph. Why not see what you got with Will Howard? Let him go out there and throw in week 18 and just see what you got, like you said. But
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how they do it.
And speaking of the future, I do want to put this one to bed real quick. There's a lot of people saying that the Steelers should get Malik Willis this offseason. Don't. There's a reason that this guy could not be a starter with any other team. And you want your quarterback room to be Malik Willis, Mason Rudolph, and Will Howard? No, that's not a recipe for success. You might as well just sign Josh Johnson and get it over with.
Look, Malik Willis did not play bad Saturday, but you don't want him as your starting quarterback in this league. He's a good backup. That's about as far as he needs to go on.
I really wish our resident Packers fan was here, because I was really going to troll him and just be like, so is Malik Willis just a better quarterback than Jordan Love?
You guys are investing in the wrong number one pick, man.
Yeah.
I guess he was second round, but still.
But wrong quarterback.
So, Gage, that brings us now to our weekly segment here on this show, and that is...
From turf to tears, injury fears, sidelined this week in Gage's fantasy sphere.
So, I've been really lucky the past few weeks with no injuries. It's been actually pretty nice. However, I'm now in round 2 of... this is the 5th place game. It's going to be 2 weeks, I believe, the league settings are. And we're rolling in with what was 4, but now 5 questionables going into next week. I guess we're just making it up all in 1 week. Make the entire season up. Start out, Lamar Jackson. As you mentioned, Snoop Huntley came in last night for Lamar. Lamar ended with 4.74 points. Better than my other quarterback that I'll talk about here in a little bit. He was considered a day-to-day with a back bruise, though he said he hopes to play Saturday on the road against Green Bay. There's a chance we have Snoop Huntley versus Malik Willis on Saturday.
The game everybody wanted to see.
Absolutely. Moving to running back position, also out of the game last night, Travion Henderson, a concussion. It says he won't return to Sunday's game. No kidding. Ruled out at halftime, and Ramondre Stevenson took over. Dearness Johnson also up there. No idea if he's going to be available this week. It does seem, though, especially this season, concussion injuries are not just, you're good for the next game. They feel like they've been multiple week absences. So I'm preparing to go without Travion. 6 questionables, actually. I missed this one when we were skimming over it. Wide receiver position, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Not his highest of games. He ended with 9.4 points, 4 catches for 54 yards. Knee injury. It says he was estimated as a non-participant on Monday's injury report. I don't know how you're estimated when they put out the injury reports, but all right. It says, Detroit held a walkthrough practice Monday, so St. Brown's lack of participation is only an estimation.
Like Thursday.
Even better. Great, less time to heal up. But he played in that Cowboys game here a couple weeks ago when no one expected him to play. He'll be fine.
Yep,
he's got
10 minutes before kickoff. Hey, Amon-Ra's available. I put in Tesla to get 6 catches. What do you mean?
And then going to the bench, 2 running backs. We're going to start out in L.A. Kamani Vidal, luckily, did not play him. 5 carries for 11 yards. He had that bad game. Now 2 bad games in a row. But injury here, it is diagnosed with a neck strain and is considered day-to-day. Neck strains hurt. That's hard to get over. So who knows if he's going to come back. If not, Amarian Hampton and Hassan Haskins will be splitting carries this week. I forget who they go against, but either way, they're going to be splitting carries most likely. Going up to Minnesota, Aaron Jones, questionable. Again, we hit this. He's questionable every week. An ankle injury. Shocker. Feels like that's the same injury every year. Listed as limited on Monday's practice estimate. So they held a walkthrough, estimated. He's probably going to play. And then my other quarterback, Jordan Love, questionable. Coach Matt LaFleur confirmed Sunday that Love suffered a concussion. Why are my two starting quarterbacks that are supposed to be going against each other this weekend both questionable and have a chance of not playing? I have no idea who to target. We are going to lose week 1 of the 5th place game. Right now, I'm down 88.38 to 87.54, and he still has Christian McCaffrey playing. Players out there on the waiver wire, there's 2, maybe 3 that we're looking at, maybe even 4. Aaron Rodgers is out there, so he's been playing good recently. He's on a string of good games, and I know as soon as I pick him up, he's going to have a 4-interception game. Brock Purdy playing pretty good right now. 27 points currently. We're also looking at maybe Tyler Shuck. Maybe he doesn't suck as much as we all thought. He's been putting up pretty good numbers here for the past 4 weeks. And then the one that I'm surprised is still out there on the waiver wire, Trevor Lawrence. He's been incredible, coming off a 31-point performance, 44 points last week against the Jets, 19 against Indy, 21 Tennessee. He's on a roll right now. So I'm thinking he's going to be the one, as long as we get that waiver claim in there, pick him up. And then I don't know, maybe we drop. If it's the last week that we're going to be going into, then it doesn't matter which quarterback we drop. So probably just drop Jordan Love since he's less likely to play than Lamar is. Running back wise, we've got to figure something out. Vidal probably not going to play. Do got Aaron Jones up there. Someone's going to need to come in for Travion. Yeah, a lot more injuries this week than what we're accustomed to this season. It feels like last season.
Yeah, that was a loaded who's injured on Gage's fantasy team. It's a classic one. It's a throwback to last year where we had this segment was a long segment every week. And this year, it's not been very long at all. But, yeah, the injuries are racking up here towards the end of the season. Last week of fantasy football for you. And too good.
Not too good. And if I lose to this guy between the 2 weeks total, he is someone that has not played in several weeks. Still has James Conner in the starting lineup. So, yeah, he was coming off a big JSN performance. We talked about that last week when we recorded. And I was coming off a huge Kenny Gainwell performance that I was hoping to kind of even each other out, be good to go. But no, we can't do that. We can't have that.
We can't have good things around here fantasy-wise.
Heck no. Can never have good things.
Oh, so there's Gage's injury report this week on his fantasy team. Now it's time for us to make our picks this week. And let's go ahead, Gage. Let's start out with Thursday, Christmas Day. And boy, the NFL has got to be regretting the Christmas Day slate that they've got, right? I mean, look at these games we're about to talk about. Only, let's see, one team is for sure getting in the playoffs out of the 6. Maybe 2, but there's got to be a lot that happens for them. Not the best slate for Christmas Day for the NFL. They won Christmas Day last year, kind of took over for the NBA. I don't think they're winning it this year. But we start out with our picks, and leading it off is the Cowboys traveling to Landover, Maryland to face the Washington Commanders at 1 o'clock on Netflix. Dallas is a 5.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, what are we thinking here?
Don't even know. 5.5. If Josh Johnson's the quarterback, it should be 55.5.
Yeah,
in favor of Dallas because I think he's thrown an interception for 50 different NFL teams. That's what it feels like. He played horrible when he came into the role. I think he's going to play this week. I don't actually know. So if we do a quick Google search, we want Josh Johnson. No, not American comedian and writer. Nothing towards you. We're talking about the football quarterback here. Yeah, 43 yards, 1 interception. Josh Johnson to get a significant amount of the starter reps at practice this week. Yeah. Give me the Cowboys. They're going to cover, and it's probably going to be 17, 18-point game.
Yeah, so the Dallas Cowboys offense, I mean, they're still really good. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. George Pickens had a heck of a game last week. They just couldn't hang with the Chargers. Overall, the Chargers are the better team. Cowboys defense still not good. But that offense, it's been fun to watch this season. The Commanders, Josh Johnson out there playing. You have Jaden Daniels. You think, hey, we're coming back off of an NFC Championship appearance. We're going to do something this year. And here we are. We're starting Josh Johnson in Week 17 of the season at home on Christmas Day. You're thinking, we're getting a Christmas Day slot here, guys. This is going to be fun. And they're like, no, never mind, sorry. They didn't even give you the Saturday before against the Eagles in that game because they thought this was going to be a repeat.
Yeah.
Ends up, fight breaking out at the end of it. Dan Quinn's like, we'll see them guys in 2 weeks. Yeah, what are you going to do? Because you already got beat down. If you start Josh Johnson, you're going to look foolish once again. Give me the Cowboys in this one. I think the Cowboys win. I think that they cover. I think they put up all kinds of points on this Commanders team. Defense looks pretty good because it's going against Josh Johnson.
And you know what? I almost have to feel bad for the Cowboys players because they played on Thanksgiving and they're playing on Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, dang. They got families too, NFL. Like, come on.
Well, hey, speaking of teams that played on Thanksgiving and playing on Christmas, the next game we've got, the Detroit Lions from Minnesota to face the Minnesota Vikings at 4:30 on Netflix. Detroit is a 5.5-point favorite. Boy, 5.5 line opening up here for the road teams in both these games. Gage, what do we think here? Does Detroit bounce back? Do they keep their slim playoff hopes alive? Or does Minnesota?
I believe they're going to keep it alive. J.J. McCarthy was not playing bad football up until this past week against the Giants, but he got knocked out of the game as well with an injury. So I'm just trying to look here to see if there's any update on that. We don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing about recording early.
Yeah. But I thought maybe there'd be something, like some sort of update on the hand injury, something.
Right.
But
they're playing in 3 days.
Yeah, and there's nothing. Meanwhile, Detroit, at least offensive-wise, they have majority of their people. I know I said Amon-Ra's questionable, but they expect him to play. There's no reason why you shouldn't expect him to play. You're still without Sam Laporta, but you've been without Laporta for a while now. You're used to that. Get Gibbs, get Montgomery going. 15 yards combined rushing against the Steelers defense that had led up over 200 rushing yards in 2 of the last 3 games before Sunday. Inexcusable. I know I talked about last week that, Steelers defense holding the best running backs in the league to under 100 yards. I did not expect that, so that was great. Jared Goff, he has potential for MVP. He threw for, over 300 yards. He had 4 touchdowns, I believe, yesterday. So the offense is kicking. It's the defense of Detroit that really hurts. They let up huge plays, passing and running. The Steelers offense put up over 400 yards, almost 500 yards of total offense against the Lions defense. I expect a little bit back and forth, probably a lot of points scored, but I think in the end, the Lions are going to come out on top. Give me Detroit, and I'm going to take them to cover.
So Aaron Jones and J.J. McCarthy did not practice today, but it's Monday. You still got 2 more days. Maybe he gets in there. I don't know. But if he doesn't, are you going Max Brosmer again? If that's the case, give me Detroit to win and give me Detroit to cover easily. Detroit's still in this thing barely. As you mentioned, 15 total yards last week rushing. Now that counts into this, the sacks and everything.
Yeah.
But between Gibbs and Montgomery, maybe the best duo running back in football, But, it could be Kenneth Gainwell, Jaylen Warren. It all depends on who you ask. But anyways, so these guys last year, this is what Ben Johnson wanted to do when he was in Detroit, run the ball first.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell kind of following that a little bit. And when they couldn't get it going, they struggled. And they've struggled. They definitely struggled last week. But in this case right here, Minnesota's defense is not terrible. But if they've got Brosmer over there on offense, even if they've got 9, I feel good about the Lions winning. Give me Detroit to win. And give me a Vikings cover. I think the Vikings cover. I'm with you here because the Vikings beat them earlier in the season, and I think that the Vikings and the Lions both score quite a bit of points in this matchup. But I like the Lions to bounce back and get a win and keep those slim playoff hopes alive. And hopefully no fans get punched in this game this time.
So do you think even if Max Brosmer plays that the Vikings still cover?
No, if Max Brosmer plays, they don't cover. Let me clarify that. If him's playing, I'll take a cover. But if Brosmer's playing, he will take a Lions complete beatdown in this.
Not just a cover, but a beatdown.
That Lions defense may get a shutout. That's what the Bengals need. They need Max Brosmer over there on the opposite side against them for the Bengals defense to look like an elite defense. Oh, by the way, Gordon didn't send me his picks yet, so we're going to go ahead and we'll actually go with his actual picks when he sends them to me. But for entertainment purposes here, he's got the Commanders in the first game, and he's also got the Lions. He's going home team. So
now, I feel like he's going to get you his picks mid-Sunday. Like, it's just going to be after a lot of the games are finished up, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, I absolutely had these picks.
Yeah, so if he does that, we've already got them recorded here, and we'll just go with the recorded picks because you can't get them to me after Thursday. So the next matchup, we've got the main event of Christmas night. The Denver Broncos travel to Kansas City for now before they move to Kansas at 8:15 on Prime Video. Denver's a 12.5-point favorite. Gage, I'm going to be honest with you here. When Gardner Minshew, I'm not even going to do the sneeze, when he went out the other day and Kansas City brought in some dude from one of those Dakota states, I had no idea who that was. Now, you may know who this was because I looked him up.
Yep.
And he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, Gage may know who this is. But I had no clue who this guy was until Sunday. Gage, what do you think about it?
So I just want to start off with what you said. The Chiefs moving to Kansas. That news probably blew so many people's minds because so many people probably thought Kansas City was already in Kansas. Just going to throw that out there. Yeah, Chris Oladokun, a starting quarterback now for the Kansas City Chiefs. Poor guy, drafted the same draft class as Kenny Pickett. Never saw playing time in Pittsburgh. He couldn't get in there. Between Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and whoever else they've had at the quarterback helm while he was still there. He just stayed on the practice squad. Now, when you look at the Pittsburgh GM office, why are you drafting two quarterbacks in the same class, a first rounder, and I don't even remember what Oladokun was, a sixth rounder, seventh rounder? We aren't the Browns. Don't be drafting two quarterbacks in the same draft class, especially when one's not going to get any playing time.
The Bengals, the year that they drafted Burrow, I believe they drafted a quarterback in the sixth round or something crazy like that. And it's like, we just had a number one pick for that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what are we doing? If we're going to draft somebody, like a second one, let's go sign someone in free agency that
Right.
You can get them for a cheap deal. Don't waste a draft pick. But Oladokun then has spent time, other teams as well, Chiefs, and a couple other practice squads, I think. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's the case. He played 5 snaps in the Broncos game last year when it was Carson Wentz, and the Chiefs just didn't need to win because they were already good to go. So he really has not seen NFL playing time. Now, he came in last week after Minshew tore his ACL. Boy, quarterback room's devastated. Oladokun, you might want to protect yourself this week. But he played a little bit, didn't do too bad for someone who's really never played. You get your first NFL start this week, and it's not going to go good at all. Broncos are going to come in and just absolutely decimate you. I feel bad because, former Steeler, I liked Oladokun. No reason besides her being a former Steeler. Give me the Broncos, and I'm going to take them to covers.
So Kansas City last week, they got destroyed by the Titans. I made the mistake on this podcast of picking the Kansas City Chiefs because I'm like, Minshew Mania, it's going to be great. He's going to come in, he's going to do. No, it wasn't good. And the Broncos, they get their first loss in their last 10 games at home to Jacksonville. And Jacksonville kind of dominated them for the most part there. Denver's going to be ready for revenge. They're going to come out this week. They're going to beat Kansas City. I think that they cover that spread just because they lost last week. Now, if they would have won last week, I don't know if they cover, but they're going to cover. I don't know if your boy's going to have a good game or not for Kansas City, but give me the Broncos in this one and give me a Broncos cover. Man, what a slate for Christmas Day that we've got right here. What a way to end it.
In scoring update, we had a Jonathan Taylor rushing touchdown here a little bit ago, 34-27. Uncle Phil might pull out the comeback.
Uncle Phil may do it. It's only a 7-point game in the fourth quarter. It'll be interesting here.
Will Phil shadow?
And now we head to Saturday in what should be a good game. This looks like, Saturday first round game of a playoff because the Texans always play at 4:30 on Saturday, and the Chargers usually play around that time too. So This could be a preview of the AFC. The Texans travel to Los Angeles, to face the LA Chargers at 4:30 on the NFL Network. The Chargers are a 1.5-point favorite at home. Gage, the Texans kind of messed around a little bit yesterday with the Raiders. Do you think that was more of a we're just playing down to our opponent, or is that indicative of something to come?
I was super ecstatic when I saw they had a pick six. I was like, all right, this Texans defense is going to do great for me in fantasy. And then they messed around a little bit. Ashton Genty wide open on a 60-yard touchdown. Where did that come from? But I do think that they just messed around a little bit. They weren't playing up to their standard, and they didn't have to. They're going to have to this week, though. And just because of the Texans' defense, I'm going to keep rolling with them. Give me the Texans in this one, and they are the road dog. First one of the episode, Jesse James.
Oh, man, so the Texans' defense, like you said, I think they messed around a little bit, too. But the Raiders, I mean, we'll talk about them after a while. They finally remembered, hey, Brock Bowers is pretty good at this football thing if we just get him the ball. They got him the ball quite a bit, and he had a pretty decent game. Genty had that, like you said, wide open touchdown there. The Texans, their defense has carried them for the most part. They've had a couple of games where the offense has come along, but for the most part, it's been that defense. And for the Chargers, their defense isn't too bad either. Now, they give up some points to the Cowboys last week, but who hasn't, though, to be fair? The Cowboys have put up points on everybody. Their offense is starting to go a little bit. I don't think that hand's bothering Herbert as bad, but I think this week is going to get bothered a little bit. And I think that, no, actually, I'm going to roll with the Chargers on this one. I think the Chargers win this one. I think the Chargers cover, only because I think their offense is better than Houston's offense. And I think that their defense is decent enough to shut down Houston's offense, and they just barely squeak one out. Now, I could be completely wrong on this, but hey, give me the Chargers at home.
And Gordon picks a tie to happen this game. Wow.
I forgot. Gordon's got a tie in this one, and he actually thinks that Travis Kelce's coming out and scoring 2 touchdowns for the Chiefs, and that they get a cover on the Broncos.
So, segue here real quick. Pro Bowl voting? Ridiculous. Travis Kelce being second right now in votes. You might just make Taylor Swift the number 1 vote getter, too, because it is a popularity contest, and it should not be done this way.
No, it shouldn't be. And by the way, when I said that the Chiefs cover, he's got the Broncos winning, but he's got the Chiefs covering in his game there. So, and he's got the tie for the Texans and the Chargers. Bold move from him, but we'll see what he's got on this one here. And it is the Saturday finale, and it's those Baltimore Ravens traveling up to Green Bay to face the Green Bay Packers at 8 o'clock on Peacock. Baltimore is a 1.5-point favorite. What do you think?
Ravens, Packers, 8 p.m. Just round out this weekend, or at least, the first couple of days of the weekend. I'm going to take the Packers just because, we know the situation going on. So we're going to go with the Packers. Malik Willis, you need to play out of your mind this weekend. I don't know if you will have your full slate of receivers. You may not have Christian Watson. You may not even have Josh Jacobs, because we don't know. Emmanuel Wilson, this might be the Malik Willis, Emmanuel Wilson show.
Just like everybody thought.
Low-key, I expect Lamar to be out there playing, but even when he's been out there playing this year, he has not looked the Lamar that we all know. That 41 touchdown passer from last year that we all know and love, and the reason that I drafted him as my starting quarterback in fantasy. I'm going to roll with the Packers. Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. I'm going to throw on the Chiefs head for this week. Give me the Packers, and obviously they are the dogs in this game.
Snoop Huntley, Malik Willis. The main event matchup we all hope for in Week 17, with playoff hopes abound for both of these teams. Baltimore, like you said, I think Lamar comes out. I think he plays. I don't know about Jordan Love, the concussion thing. Maybe it doesn't matter. I think that this Packers team lost a lot when they lost Micah Parsons defensively. I mean, they played really good defensively for the most part in that Bears game.
Yeah.
But just at the end, couldn't hang on. Offensively, they haven't really been fun to watch most of the season, really. Like you said, if Doubs is their best wide receiver with his big guardian cap over there, I don't know, but he's probably not playing this week. I don't know. Where's Wicks at? Where's Wicks been? I need a Wicks. He hasn't been there in a while. Watson, Tucker Kraft went out earlier in the year. You got Musgrave. There's not a lot over there offensively. And the Ravens, Derrick Henry, just get Derrick Henry the ball. I mean, that's probably the smart thing to do, and then you don't let him touch the ball. I don't know what's going on with these guys. You found anything on Wicks there?
Yeah, Wicks has played in 3 games this season. He had actually 2 catches for 12 yards against the Bears. He had 1 catch for 6 yards against the Broncos, and then his best game, probably of his career so far, came back on Thanksgiving at Detroit. 6 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. But outside of that, nothing.
Well, maybe it's a big Wicks game. I don't know. But I think that I'm going to go with the Packers as well in this one. I think the Packers win as the home dogs, and they cover because they're the home dogs. And Gordon, actually, strangely enough, he picks the Packers in this one as well. Not going to do that to you, Gordon, here for this one. But he's got the Packers winning, but he thinks that Malik Willis could be the better of the 2 starting quarterbacks. I believe that's what he was telling me earlier.
Yeah, I heard Gordon also thinks they trade Jordan Love in the offseason and give Malik Willis whatever money he wants.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. And he said he didn't care if they traded Jordan Love away for a 7th round and a bag of chips, but he's fine with it.
And hey, you know what? I know a team that could use a quarterback after this year because Aaron Rodgers, I forgot, don't say his name. Someone might be retiring, and Jordan Love might go to black and gold.
He might do it. I think Gordon would be fine with that. I'm pretty sure he is all about doing that right there. So, hey, Gordon, we're letting everybody know what your thoughts are on this. So, Gage, we head to Sunday now, and we start out with the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Cleveland to face the Cleveland Browns at 1 o'clock on CBS. Pittsburgh is a 4.5-point favorite on the road. What are you thinking?
We were talking about this before we started recording. This feels like the trap game. There has not been a real trap game for Pittsburgh this year. Maybe the Cincinnati loss, you could call that a trap game a little bit, but that was just a great game in general. This is that one game a year where Pittsburgh comes out, they're flat as can be, and just lay a goose egg. I do not, and I repeat, do not want to lose to Shedeur Sanders. I don't care. If Green Bay comes out and they beat Baltimore and Pittsburgh locks up the division, I hope Aaron Rodgers is out there the first play and he goes a 75-yard bomb to MVS and then is pulled out. But I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to go with Cleveland just because, we got to get a win somehow on this podcast. Give me Cleveland. I almost want to take it as the upset pick of the week, just because I don't know the spreads of the other games. Taking a quick look at them. Nah, we'll save that for a different game. But give me the Browns. I hate to say that, but Browns and the Steelers still lock up the division now because the Packers beat.
Oh, so I'm surprised you're going Cleveland here because it's Cleveland. They got a good defense, so we think. I don't know. But Myles Garrett, I called it last week that he was going to break the sack record last week. I was off a week. I think he breaks it this week against Pittsburgh. I mean, it's coming. It's coming, right?
This has got to be the focal point. You know what? Mike Tomlin, Terrell Austin, Arthur Smith, they might be in that film room like, you know what, guys? We don't care if we lose. Dylan Cook, don't you dare give up any type of hits to Myles Garrett. Arthur Smith, you will be triple chipping Myles Garrett. You might put Darnell Washington, Dylan Cook, and Jalen Warren all in to block him at the same time. We may lose, but do you not dare let Garrett pass TJ's record and Strahan's record this week against us.
Maybe that's how it goes, but that means he would have to try to break it against the Bengals next week. I don't know what that. Break it this week. We're gonna do. San Francisco just went up 41-27 right now in the fourth. Maybe Uncle Phil's not so good right now. 14 points. 7 minutes. There's time. Anyways, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. If Baltimore wins Saturday, which we picked the Packers, this game really won't matter a whole lot for Pittsburgh.
No.
But I think that they're still going to go out and want to win because they're still preparing for this game.
Yes.
So they're not going to go and have Mason Rudolph come in and play after they've prepared all week with Aaron Rodgers and the gang. Without DK, does it matter? I don't know. Keep an eye out on Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate, Harold Fannin Jr., tight end. I don't even think it's Junior. I think it's just Harold Fannin. Harold Fannin Jr., the fourth, tight end for the Cleveland Browns. He's been awesome this year. He set the rookie record for the Browns receiving, the other day. Guy from a little Mike school. I don't think it matters though this week. Give me the Steelers to win this game, and I think that the Browns will keep it close for the most part. Judkins is out though, so that may hurt Cleveland's running chances. Give me Pittsburgh to win, and give me a Cleveland cover at home.
For the record, it is Harold Fannin Jr. You were close. So close.
That's right. Close. Somewhat. I had it. There was another Harold Fannin somewhere along the lines that Gordon also has the Browns in this one. Of course. I mean, he's a Browns guy. We've established this on the podcast. He went with the Browns. So.
Closeted Browns fan that we got over here.
No doubt about it. And the next matchup we got an AFC East matchup. The New England Patriots travel to Jersey to face the New York Jets at 1 o'clock on Fox. Patriots are a 12.5-point favorite. Gage, that line I think is too low. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it should be more like maybe an 18.5-point line.
Flip the 2 and the 1.
Oh no, Uncle Phil fumbled. Recovered by Indy though. All right.
It's only 4th and 25 right now for Indy.
Easily convertible.
3-5.
Easy doing here. It's going to be a drag route to Josh Downs, who somehow gets it.
Mm.
The one thing that the Jets have going for them is Brady can't cook. He's not done. Granted, it's the Jets. Garrett Wilson, I believe, still leads the team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns, and he hasn't played in how long? This Jets team just sucks. Like, they are bad. Doesn't matter who's the quarterback. Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, Brady can't cook. It doesn't matter. Give me New England this one. They're going to cover. Though I can see the Jets messing around and covering the line. Patriots are going to win no matter what.
Yeah, Patriots are still in line for the number 1 seed. They're going to want to go out and play really well. I don't see why they won't in this game right here. The Jets, as you mentioned, all the quarterbacks that they've had this year, why not throw Breece Hall out there? He threw a touchdown pass against the Bengals. Why not have him go out there and play quarterback? Why not at this point in time? It couldn't be any worse than what they've thrown out there. The Jets, I don't know what you do from here with the Jets. They've got a lot of positions of need that they're going to have to fill. They traded everybody away. But the Patriots, like I said, you're without Henderson probably, but I don't think it matters. Stevenson's a decent running back. Give me the Patriots in this one. And I think that the Patriots go in and they just pummel the Jets because Brady can't cook. Yeah. The next matchup. Yeah.
Who knows? They could do like what the Broncos did during the COVID year. Just put a wide receiver.
Why not? It'd be exciting at least, something to watch instead of whatever the Jets are throwing out there now. Gordon, he actually does have the Patriots in this one. And he's got the Patriots covering by 27. I don't know why 27, but that's what he put.
Feels like a Gordon cover. All right.
And the next matchup, we've got a battle of the NFC South and the AFC South. Both these teams looked absolutely horrible a few weeks ago, but now still not great, but playing better. And the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, travel to Nashville to face the Tennessee Titans at 1 o'clock on CBS. New Orleans is a 2.5-point favorite. Gage, is it time for us to retire the nickname that we have for the New Orleans Saints quarterback? He's looked pretty decent the last couple of weeks, not going to lie.
He has looked pretty good. Last week now, it was against the Jets. Jets are still searching for their first interception of the season. I can't give them too much, credit. 65% completion percentage, 308 yards, the most in his young NFL career, and a touchdown. Before that, the Panthers played 75% of passes, which is incredible. 172 yards and a touchdown. He's been low-key cooking a little bit. Something Brady can't do. Obviously this is not going to happen. But Tyler Shuck for Rookie of the Year? Never know. Meanwhile, the Titans, let's be honest, they only won last week because Gardner Minshew died and Mahomes wasn't in there. Chris Oladoke it was a whatever game, basically. We're going to go with the Saints here, and I'm going to take them to cover.
Yeah, the Saints, they beat Tampa Bay the week before that. They've started to, Tyler Shuck has looked pretty good, as we mentioned. Yeah. I can't call him suck yet again. I mean, looking decent. Titans played pretty good last week against a team that is done for. They really don't care about the rest of the season. So the Titans are hurting their draft position by winning that game last week.
Yeah.
I think the Saints win this game here, and I think that they cover. Fun fact, Taysom Hill is the first player in NFL history with 1,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards, and 1,000 receiving yards.
Yeah. Fun fact, Chris Olave, who's been in the NFL for a couple seasons now, is younger than Tyler Shuck.
That is insane. That is insane to think about. Wow. Yeah. mind blown right here on this podcast. Gordon also is rolling with the, what did he put here, Gage? It was,
I think he took the Titans, didn't he?
he did. He took the Titans in a home dog Billy Gunn, he says. So the home dogs, Billy Gunn here, the Titans win. The next matchup we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Indianapolis to face the Indianapolis Colts at 1 o'clock on Fox. Jacksonville's a 6.5-point favorite. Gage, what do we think here?
This is where I would love to use the underdog pick of the week, but Uncle Phil has just been disappointing me, for his first 2 games back. In Jacksonville, they've looked phenomenal. Like, honestly, a team that could make a run. Liam Cohen in his first season, chance at the Super Bowl. We're going to roll with the Jags here. Not much question behind it, and I'm going to take them to cover.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, this game looked like, hey, this could be for the AFC South. And Jacksonville's been on a roll. Trevor Lawrence has looked really good. Jacoby Myers, since coming over, looked really good. He didn't have a whole great of a game last week, but I think there was a Brian Thomas Jr. sighting last week a few times for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Colts, you're trying to piece it together, trying to keep it going. They've been competitive. They've been kind of fun with Papaw Phil out there, but they just can't pull it off. Lost last week. They're down 14 right now. Maybe about to go down a little bit more. Give me Jacksonville in this one. And I think that Indy covers, though. I think they keep it close and they keep it a little fun, but give me Jacksonville.
It's just very upsetting the way that this Colts defense has been. And you went out, you traded for Sauce, the guy's hurt. Brock Purdy just threw a pick, though. Comeback time happening.
Oh, here we go.
But the Colts defense got back to Forrest Buckner, but it seems like that has not really made a difference tonight. And it's just hard when your corners are susceptible to just about any receiver in there. So the defense is a big issue, right?
Yeah, and Gordon actually is believing in the Colts as well here. He thinks the Colts cover this game and Jacksonville wins on a doinked-in field goal. I mean, pretty specific stuff for him here, but he's got Jacksonville winning on a doinked-in field goal, but the Colts cover. Hey, stranger things have happened.
Is it a single or a double doink?
He actually has a single doink here,
Okay.
But you should hear what he's got later. The next matchup that we've got, the Arizona Cardinals travel to Cincinnati to face the Cincinnati Bengals at 1 o'clock on Fox. Cincinnati is a 7-point favorite at home. Gage, I don't know what the over-under is, but I've got a feeling you better take the over in this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Both offenses, although the Arizona Cardinals, their offense has kind of simmered here recently, the past couple weeks. Kind of sucks for me because Trey McBride now has been left out a little bit. They only scored 19 against Atlanta. They led up 26 to the Falcons. No wonder why I cannot find the over-under. I was looking at week 16.
We'll be there.
Yeah. Man, this is another place where I'm heavy on the Cardinals, and I want to use the underdog pick of the week, but I can't. I don't feel like I can. The over-under for this game is 53.5. It feels like a lot. But the Arizona Cardinals have no defense. The Cincinnati Bengals, minimal defense. I think they got more than what Arizona has, but very minimal.
Yeah.
Is there any injuries to report? Do we know of anybody that's out this week for Cincinnati? Resident Bengals fan?
Not that I could think of. I think everybody's fairly healthy here. T. Higgins played the whole game the other day. Jamar Chase, Burrows, feeling fine. But nothing too big. Cam Grandy, I think, got hurt. If that tickles your fancy any.
Couldn't even tell you what position he plays. Oh, wow. Poor guy. You know what? He was going to be in a package this week to get a handoff for a touchdown. Sorry. Sucks to suck, I guess.
Yeah.
Full strength Cardinals against the full strength Bengals. I guess minus Marvin Harrison Jr.
He played last week.
Did he? Okay. Well, full strength for everybody. Did we get a touchdown here in the Niners game? Did we?
Yes.
Uncle Phil, did you throw a pick six?
48.
Man, well, I guess there goes any hope of a comeback. We're going to take
over.
We're going to take the favorites in this one. Give me the Bengals, but I think Arizona covers.
I'm going to go with you on this one. I think that the Bengals win this game. I think that the offense, there's going to be tons of offense. If you want to put a player prop parlay in, put it in on this game right here because there's going to be all kinds of yards here. Jacoby Brissett, Joe Burrow. Who do you go with here? You got to go with the better of the two quarterbacks as long as he's healthy. Even if Joe Flacco comes in, I think that the Bengals win this game. Give me the Bengals. Give me the Bengals. Push. I think they win by 7 in what should be a firepower explosion game over here. Gordon has a defensive battle. He's got the Bengals winning 7-6 over the Cardinals. That's, man, when you think when we're all zigging, he's zagging over here. He's playing chess while we're playing checkers. So, I mean, he's got the Bengals, but he's got a low score. He just take the under.
That's an interesting one. I'm interested, if we built like some sort of parlay together, what he would do.
Yeah, that's a bold prediction there. But the next matchup we've got. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the struggling Tampa Bay Buccaneers, travel to Miami to face the Miami Dolphins at 1 o'clock on Fox. Tampa Bay's a 5.5-point favorite. Gage, what do you think here? Tampa Bay, man, they don't look like the same team.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Not amazing as in a good thing, but just, I guess, astonishing is the right word to use, that the Bucs have just fallen off. They started out like gangbusters. We both thought that this team was going to be phenomenal again this year and win the division handedly. And now it's turned over to the Panthers. Of all teams, the Panthers have a chance to win the division. Who would have thought that? Nobody. That's who. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. Our underdog pick of the week is going to go to Quinn Ewers in the Miami Dolphins. It's in Miami. Although I guess it doesn't matter because they both play in Florida. So give me the Dolphins and give me that underdog pick of the week, Miami Dolphins, to come out on top.
Miami looked absolutely horrible yesterday against the Bengals after the first quarter or so. But Tampa Bay didn't look much better, losing to the Carolina. They lost to New Orleans the week before. They lost to Atlanta. So they've lost 3 straight games to division rivals. Week 18, if they can win this week, is what it all comes down to for them. Tampa Bay's got to come out and win this game. And I think that they will. I think that they come out. I think they win this game. Dolphins are already ready for the offseason. Give me Tampa Bay to win this one and give me a Tampa Bay cover. No, give me a Tampa Bay cover. I think they win by about a touchdown.
And we have, I was going to say real quick, we have a quarterback change in the game. Riley Leonard now at the helm for the Colts, replacing Phil Rivers, who he still has his helmet on. Maybe he's going to come back out.
Maybe. And looks like they also have a running back change, too. Tyler Goodson is in the game for Jonathan Taylor.
Completely forgot he existed.
So it looks like, according to this right here, Gordon has Tampa Bay winning, too. And he's got Miami covering. He thinks that Tampa Bay wins on a walk-off safety. Wow. That's very interesting.
He's really given us – I don't know if he was drinking when making these picks or what, but man,
they're odd. They are odd for sure. But hey, we're just reporting what we've been told. So
some added.
Yeah, the next matchup we've got the Seattle Seahawks travel to Carolina to face the Carolina Panthers at 1 o'clock on CBS. Seattle is a 7.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, what are we thinking here?
My question for this game is what Panthers team is going to show up? Bryce Young, again last week, under 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and his final touchdown, that was the game winner, looked like a play that some of these other quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield would make, Patrick Mahomes would make, and he's shown flashes. But it's one of those things that's like, how confident are you? Because it seems like it's been the running game that has really helped the Panthers get to a lot of these wins this season. Seahawks, on the other hand, man, they've been up and down all season. They barely beat Uncle Phil. They had to kick all field goals in order to beat him. You got to get Jason out there. For me purpose, I love Zach Charbonnet taking majority of the touches from Kenneth Walker. And I think you're going to come out. I think the Seahawks are going to win, but I think Carolina's going to cover. 7.5 is a lot for a team that's been playing pretty good. So give me Seattle and a Carolina cover in this one.
Seattle had a huge win last week against the Rams at home, and a strange way to win a game.
Yeah.
With that pass, that backwards pass that kicked into the end zone, and Charbonnet picked it up for the 2-point conversion. Strange way to score.
Yeah.
Panthers, they go out, they beat their division rival. Not a lot of offense in that game, not a lot of yards for them.
No.
But they're at home. Once again, they were at home. Usually they play a lot better at home. Their only game that they didn't play well at home was that Buffalo game. And I think that's their only loss. So with that being said, Seattle's on a roll. I know it, but they're heading to Carolina. I've got the Carolina Panthers beating the Seattle Seahawks in my upset pick of the week. Give me the Panthers to win this game straight up in Carolina. And of course they cover because they're the home dogs. I can't do that. And Gordon also has the Carolina Panthers winning this game and covering. He's got them winning by 17 points in this game. Yeah.
There's a lot of belief in Bryce Young this week then, huh?
There is. And, hey, that one home loss, I mean, that's no joke right there with them. So Seattle's got to travel all the way over there coming off of a big win. This is a perfect spot for a letdown for Seattle, and I think it happens.
And you talked about the quirky 2-point play last week.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions that go into that one. First, was it a backwards pass? I thought it was from looking at it. I still think it was. We had the live reaction on here, Gordon going, that's a forward pass. And it not being lateral. An offensive player, you cannot advance a fumble unless it's the offensive player that fumbled it. I guess that fumble would have gone to Sam Darnold. Charbonnet recovered it in the end zone. Can you advance that? Does it count? There's a lot of questions that I don't think even the refs knew really what to call here. And the easiest was just, 2 points good.
Yeah, a lot of strange. The refs seems like they don't know the rules sometimes, like in the Pittsburgh game and in that game right there. So I can't really blame them, I guess. Maybe better training. I don't know. The next matchup we head to the 4 o'clock slate. 4:05. The New York Giants face the Las Vegas Raiders. On CBS, the Giants are 1.5-point favorite. Gage, this one here is for Gordon. This one could be the game of the week with an A. Gage, what do you think?
Yeah, no excitement at all for this game. The Raiders came out and they looked okay last week against the Texans. They were very surprising. The Giants they need Jameis Winston back in there at quarterback to look competitive.
Please.
With that being said, we're going to go with the Raiders. I think first time all season that I've picked the Vegas Raiders, and they're going to do it. Give me the Raiders in this one, and obviously they are the home dog, so they're going to cover.
I don't know what you say about this game right here. I mean, you can't get excited about either one of these teams. The Raiders played decent last week against a good Houston Texans team, but I think that was more of the Texans just sleepwalking through that game. Yeah. The Giants, I mean, who did the Giants even play last week? Who knows? Does it really matter? I can't remember. That is a good question, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, we talked about them in the game, but Vikings, yeah. So who paid attention to that? Not me. But I think this week that the Giants come out, I think they win. I think they cover. They win by a few. And, yeah, give me the Giants to win this game. Gordo is, yeah.
Go ahead with Gordo's pick. I'm excited to hear this one.
Gordo is rolling with you on this one. He's got the Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
And he said that they look like they're the black hole Raiders once again, and they dominate. He's got them winning with 3 pick sixes on that sideline. They pick off Jackson Dart 3 times for pick sixes, and that's how they get their points. 1 to 12 is what he's got.
You know what? He's really throwing out some of these fun ones, and I love it. I do want to shout out real quick Giants kicker Ben Sauls. Perfect in his NFL debut, former Pitt kicker. He spent time with the Steelers this preseason, and I believe was perfect in preseason. He's going to be a good kicker one of these days once he hooks on to some team, but they did revert him back to the practice squad here earlier today.
Well, there's something to look forward to as Pitt Panther fan there for you. So, hey.
And as a Giants fan, at least you have someone you know can score points.
Yeah, because obviously it's not much on that offense.
No.
Unless you got Jameis. Bring Jameis.
Bring Jameis back. Let's get Cam Scatabo back.
Yeah. I'm sure he'd go out and play right now. So we've only got 2 4 o'clock matchups, and this one's a little bit better than the last one, I can say. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to Orchard Park, New York to face the Buffalo Bills at 4:25 on Fox. Buffalo is a 2.5-point favorite. Gage, what are you thinking here? Both these teams coming off a win last week. One of them is a little bit more impressive than the other one.
Yeah, and the Bills, you know what? They looked pretty good now the past few weeks. Eagles, if you've been following all season, they've been up. They've been down. They've been up. They've been down. It's been a roller coaster of a season. Saquon's not the same running back you expect. Hurts. His accuracy hurts. That's about it. And A.J. Brown, you know what? When he has great games, the team loses. So I don't know why the correlation between that, but it's in Buffalo. They're a 2.5-point favorite. We're just going to roll with home favorites here. Give me Buffalo, and I'm going to take them to cover.
You know, both of these teams right here did not play their best last week. Buffalo only beat Cleveland by 3. But Buffalo's kind of getting on a little bit of a run here. I think the Eagles, as I mentioned, one of the more boring teams in the NFL with the way that they play offense. Their defense is good, but their offense is just put me to sleep. With that being said, Buffalo, their defense isn't that great, but they've got Josh Allen over there. They've got James Cook, maybe the best running back in the league. I mean, some people on this show may debate me. Hey.
Yeah, it's like a 1A, 1B type of situation, and I think Kenny Gainwell's 1A.
So with this being in Buffalo, it'll be right after Christmas. These people are going to be rowdy up there. Tables are going to be broke. Give me the Buffalo Bills in this one, and I think Buffalo covers. Gordo is rolling with the Eagles in this one. He's got them to win on a Josh Allen fumble at the end of the game.
Whoa.
Nothing crazy there on that one. I mean, that one's kind of, it could happen.
You know, I like this new version of Gordon we got where he actually gives the situations and why he wins. It's pretty fun.
Right, yeah. He's breaking it down different ways. But, yeah, hey. And now we go to Sunday night, and we've got the Chicago Bears, who could be moving to Gary, Indiana, traveling to San Francisco to face the San Francisco 49ers at 8:20 on NBC/Peacock. San Francisco is a 2.5-point favorite. Gage, what do you think here?
You want to talk about game of the actual week, WEEK? This has all the potential. I'm very excited for this one, but I think the Niners are just going to come out. They're going to be firing on all cylinders. Brock Purdy coming off a 5-touchdown performance. Christian McCaffrey coming off one of his best showings of the season. Kittle, one of his best games of the season. Meanwhile, the Bears, it took a Hail Mary, basically. An onside kick, a field goal, a touchdown in overtime, a touchdown towards the end of the regulation. Insane. That's just all it was. Took that to beat Malik Willis. So we're going to roll with the Niners in this one. I think they cover the 2.5. I'm looking at possibly a touchdown score in game.
The Bears, like you said, kind of a miracle comeback for them last week, but they did it. They come back and they got the Green Bay monkey off their back. I mean, they've won like one of their last 15 before Saturday. Caleb Williams, they didn't play well the first 3 quarters and 12 minutes, I guess it was. And then they decided to come on a little bit. DJ Moore, the big catch at the end there. Yeah. The Niners, they just dominated the Colts. That score's final, 48-27. Niners are playing good down the stretch here. They're getting everybody healthy. We talked about them. They got pretty good talent when they're healthy. Defensively, they're still down a few guys.
Yeah.
But I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it right here. Give me the Chicago Bears to go on the road and continue their momentum. What? Give me the Chicago Bears to defeat the San Francisco 49ers and cover this spread, Gage, because they are the road dog. Jesse J.
Big one there. I do have to say, Bears fans, you're welcome. Usually Aaron Rodgers has been owning you guys in the past, and now this week he actually helped you guys by beating the Lions and clinching, playoff berth, so you're welcome.
Yeah. And Gordon's pick. Did you have Gordon's pick for this one, Gage?
I do. Let me bring it up here. All right. He actually has the Bears winning as well. He's right there with you on it. But he says it's because Caleb Williams threw up an 80-yard Hail Mary, and it was caught by the third-string tight end. So impressive stuff out there.
Yeah. No Cole Kmet, no Colson Loveland, but whoever that third-string guy is, hey, that's a heck of a bold prediction once again. Bold predictions all the way around. So
he's really out here firing, and he's just having fun at this point.
He is. He's gunslinging out here, just like Brett Favre. So the last matchup we've got, maybe not a good reference right now. The last matchup we've got, the LA Rams travel to Atlanta to face the Atlanta Falcons at 8:15 on ESPN. The Rams are an 8.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, is this a good bounce back for the Rams?
Speaking of Brett Favre, one of his, teams out here, the Falcons, going at it, being the underdog. I almost saved the underdog pick of the week for this game. I almost did, just to be an idiot, just to have a little bit of fun. But I can't. The Rams are going to come out. They're going to win. They haven't looked the Rams of the beginning of the season here the past couple of weeks, but they still got MVP Matt Stafford back there. He's already at 40-plus touchdowns on the season, which is insane. They're going to be at full strength, I believe. The Falcons, Kirk Cousins, what's going to happen? You never know. Offense runs through Bijan. Get Bijan going, you're going to win. But the defense knows that. The Rams' defense is very good. Give me the Rams in this one, and I think they cover that 8.5 as well.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins didn't look too bad yesterday. Who did they play? They played the Cardinals. So the Rams coming off of a loss against Seattle, they're going to want to make a bounce back here on Monday Night Football, and I think that they do. And I think that they bounce back. They win this game against the Falcons, and by the time we record next week during this game, we'll be like, yeah, this game is not even anywhere close to being 8.5 points. I got the Rams winning this one. I got the Rams covering here. And Gordon also, he's got the Rams winning, but he's got the Falcons cover because he says that the Rams kicker kicks it off of the very top of the pole, and it comes down, it double doinks off the crossbar and goes in for a Rams win in overtime as time expires. Like, he's got it a very competitive game. He says Kyle Pitts is getting 200 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns in this one. So if you've got him for fantasy, you might want to start him.
You know what? I've agreed with a lot of Gordon's picks here tonight. I can't agree with that one. Kyle Pitts has already had his breakout game this season.
Hey, it's time for another Kyle Pitts breakout. He's doubling up this season.
I don't know if he can. He's never had that ability to go double doink. You know what? Double doink field goal, double doink Kyle Pitts games. I'm all for it, Gordon, but I did make a bet with you. You owe me $20 if that doesn't happen. So
Yeah, so just remember that. We'll mark the tape here, Gordon. If that doesn't happen, $20 goes to Gage's account right there. So that does it for our picks this week. Me, Gage, and Gordon, we all got our picks in. They're locked in at this point in time. And, there we are. There's no need to talk about anything else. There's no other news from the baseball world or anything. Nobody's gotten traded. Nothing like that, Gage, right? Like,
are you sure?
We're not going to go that low on this podcast here, right?
I feel like there was a trade that happened here a few days ago. It was a 3-team trade, actually, but I don't remember. Was Cincinnati a part of it?
Absolutely not. They've not made any moves besides Emilio Pagan and some other dude. I have no idea who it was, but yeah.
So if you're not following the baseball world, the trade that we're talking about is my Pittsburgh Pirates. They did something, and it actually feels like a good trade. They are offensively starved. The last time they made a big trade like this was a few years ago. It was with the Rays, and it was to get Chris Archer. And I was like, all right, this is going to be awesome. And then it turned out to be probably one of the worst trades in sports history. They landed all-star second baseman Brandon Lowe from the Tampa Bay Rays, and part of a 3-team trade that also included the Astros. They also got Jake Mangum, who I think might be, the underrated part of this trade. You also got left-hander Mason Montgomery, and all that Pittsburgh gave up, the only thing they gave up was Mike Burrows, who got sent to Houston. The only thing they gave up. Now, Pittsburgh, for whatever reason, they have a lot of pitching depth, and I don't know why, but they do. Between Skeens, you got Jared Jones possibly coming back here. Now, he's obviously going to be limited a little bit, but you got Mitch Keller. And then you have all these guys last season who they showed spurts. They had time up and down, but you hope that one of them, 2 of them are going to go. Pittsburgh's probably going to do what they always do. They're going to sign some washed-up veteran starting pitcher to a 1-year contract, deal him at the deadline, so he's going to be thrown in there at the 5th spot. But I love this trade. Brandon Lowe smacked out 31 homers this season. And if he did that in Pittsburgh, that would be the most by a second baseman in Pirates history. So just throwing that one out there. I am kind of curious what it does to like Nick Gonzalez and other people out there. But for whatever reason, the Rays are kind of on a shopping spree right now.
Yeah, so the Reds were in on him rumored when they was rumored for Kyle Schwarber too, and struck out on both of those guys. Now, we had a little exchange, and you said low-key feels weird about the Pirates making moves. I'm waiting for him to hit 208 and be traded by the deadline, which would be a very Pirates thing to do. And as a Cincinnati Reds fan, we're like kind of, folk here in this between the Pirates and the Reds. We're, that emoji where you're shaking hands. That's me and you with baseball for sure.
Yeah. And though I mentioned the underrated part, Jake Mangum, I actually traded for this guy in my one fantasy league last season. And I don't remember what I gave up, but it was just like a swap 1-for-1 player. He was not an everyday starter, but he hit 296 and stole 27 bases on 118 games. 29 years old, so he's a little bit older, and it was his rookie season last year. The only thing that kind of worries me, Brandon Lowe, this is the last year of his contract. So is it just a rental player, or is Pittsburgh actually going to extend him? I was really hoping they would trade for him and extend him right away. Yeah, even though they would still probably trade him at the deadline if he's batting 208. Mangum, pre-arbitration eligible after this season, and the same thing with Mason Montgomery. I think this could be a trade that, especially if Mike Burrows doesn't work out in Houston, Pittsburgh's looking back like, yeah, we finally won a trade.
What it is, Pittsburgh's going to be 27-62 at the All-Star break, and he's going to be batting .308, and that's when they trade him away for somebody else. That's the Reds' luck too. So
it'll be for like 4 prospects that get any playing time until 2029.
Yeah, and even then, who knows if they pan out? Some of them will probably retire before then. So,
but I think a bigger trade that happened still with the Rays, they sent pitcher Shane Baz, former Pirate, to the Baltimore Orioles. They got 4 top 30 of Baltimore's prospects and a conditional A draft pick. Now, I love me a little bit of Shane Baz. He was one of my favorites, when he was in the Pirates organization. Got traded away for Chris Archer and never really showed a lot of good. He's been injured, he's been up, he's been down. So for you to get that haul for him, you know what, Rays? Good job.
Yeah.
Because, wow.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of baseball talk here at the end. And as far as the Reds and trades they've made so far, and that'll do it for it this week on the podcast. We will catch you all next week. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Thanks for checking us out, subscribing to us. Over 2,400 subscribers. This is our Christmas-themed episode here on this podcast. Next week, we're going to be talking about Week 18, Gage, already. It's flew by.
It's insane. But yeah, as well, everyone have Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is that you celebrate. If you subscribe, like, comment on YouTube, follow us anywhere else. Podcasts can be found, whether it's Apple, Spotify, or Amazon, any place. And you know what? Let's leave a little bit of comments. We'll react to your comments right here on the pod.
We'll definitely do that. And I think Hanukkah's still going on right now, so happy Hanukkah out there to everybody as well. But we'll catch you all next week for our last episode of the year. Not the football year, but of the calendar year. And we'll see you all next time.
Later.